Alright, video gaming people of the video gaming planet, we have successfully finished our journey through the Roottrees are dead. And I can confirm that the Roottrees are in fact dead. They are very, very, very much gonzoed. Dead, double, deer, gone from the earth, never to be seen again. Once again, game I went into with no expectations, no knowledge of the game at all, had no idea what the game was going to be about, didn't read up on it, purposefully ignored anything I could about it. I think I heard about this maybe through Dropped Frames and Seek playing it. I'm not entirely sure, but I heard about it from somewhere originally. And it's been on my wish list for like a year or two, a year maybe. So going in with very few expectations, honestly, very, very... I think that the base game is really, really, really good. It's one of those games where you start... You know, we can maybe do like a... Can I continue from this? Like what am I looking at right now? Everything's filled in and we have all our evidence, yeah. So, you know, it's a game that where you start out and maybe doing this from the perspective of like a base game makes more, or like a new game makes more sense. I hope I can skip the cutscene at the start. That would be nice. Auto skip. Okay. Oh, I forgot that you started like this. Yeah. Well, I forgot you only started with the very, very, very small tree, but the gist of the game is that you are a person hired to investigate a family tree, and at the start of the game, you know, after you investigate the first few, you're kind of left with this entire tree unlocked, and it looks really, really daunting because it's a huge tree with a lot of people on it. And you know, this is what you start out with, and these are kind of easy to get. And the way you find people is by searching for them here, right? So you just search for something Roottrees, and you find something related to something, and you search for that. And then you find something here, and then you search for, you know, Maple Farm. I don't know. You know, you just kind of keep searching for things. And the more search you do, the more of these periodicals you unlock. And the periodicals also allow you to search for more terms. And when you find things that are relevant, you're given them in the form of evidence that you can then use to put things on the tree. So, for instance, you will be given a picture here that has Elias and Gwyneth on it. You can click on their faces. That unlocks the ability to put their faces in here. Pretty simple concept. With the entire goal being to put all the faces with the correct names and the correct last known occupation they had written down here. So you go through the game and you put faces in and you put occupations in, and when you get 3 right at the start and 4 later, they will lock in to show you that, oh, you got the right, you made the right choice. And that's helpful from a puzzle perspective, because it means that if if I'm like, oh, I think I know who this guy is, but I'm not entirely sure, I can put a face and I can put some stuff in, and then maybe if it's right, it will lock in later. But if it doesn't lock in, I know for sure that is wrong. Biggest difficulty is, of course, finding their last occupation. Like for a lot of the women, I just took a housewife. I was like a housewife probably, right? Because they're women in like the 20s or whatever. That ended up being right. And for some of these, I just kind of guessed. I wasn't entirely sure like who they were or their profession. I just kind of put something in and just hoped for the best. But honestly, a thoroughly enjoyable experience with this with the base game. You keep having things to search for, and it feels like it's always moving forwards. So I somehow with puzzle games, I feel like I always get stuck. I'm always like, oh, okay, let's just look it up. With this, I think I used hints one time, and it was something I already knew. So it just kind of like reaffirmed something I already knew or something like that. But yeah, somehow I got through this entire base game. It's like 50 people or something by just searching for things, and that was awesome. I actually had a super enjoyable experience. I look forward to getting back into it again. It was really, really nice. The game also has a feature that I think 99% of puzzle games should have, and honestly, the game could do a better job, but it's really good in this. It has an actual in-game notepad. instead of requiring you to, have a notepad set up yourself, have a physical notepad, have a Photoshop set up, whatever you use to take notes, a web service, the game just lets you have an in-game one, and it also lets you highlight text. You can actually highlight a piece of text, and you can go back to where that text came from, which is really useful. I use that a lot in the base game, where it's like, oh, I read about this thing. What is that related to? And the accumulation of this puzzle is that you have to make a guess. The game has 2 secret guesses, and for these you don't get to choose names. You have to type them in manually. And I got those right as well, because the game was so good at painting a narrative, good at setting up a story, and good at kind of explaining what was going on to you to the point where it was very, very easy to understand where things were coming from. And that was awesome. I really, really like that. I think too that it has a compelling narrative. Like the stuff you learn about is interesting. The characters are interesting. There's like a lot happening, and the way the story is told through mostly just searching for things makes that a relative breeze. You're reading through a lot of text, but the text isn't too heavy, and it's written in a way where it's easy to consume. And even reading through it multiple times, I didn't feel bothered by it at all. So the base game I thought was really, really, really good. I was engaged the entire way through. I didn't get significantly stuck, and even if you get stuck, the hint function built into the game is excellent. This is something a lot of other games definitely should have built into them. We just finished playing The Rise of the Golden Idol, and the hint function that is uses garbage compared to this. Like, this has exactly what I think all puzzle games should have, which I wish they had, which is when you click for hints, they will give you. First of all, I don't know how they know where you're at in the game, no idea, but they'll be like, "Hey, have you checked this out? Maybe you should check." Actually, we can just go into the. I quit the game accidentally. Whoops, my bad. We can go into the hint thing and actually look at it, but essentially it will give you a loose hint. Be like, "Hey, have you tried searching for this?" Then we give you a better hint and a better hint, until it just kind of tells you exactly what it wants you to do. You can probably try it out in this brand new save. So just started the game. Maybe you're completely stuck right now, right? Go here. Oh. So let's look through the unseen. Alright, we're looking through the evidence. We have these clicked. You click that. Get a hint. You should search the internet for information. Spider search the Roottrees sisters. Now if I do this... You gotta connect to the internet first. I know, I love being in the 1990s as well. Great times all around. Okay, now we search this. And because we did the thing the game told us to do, we can get more hints. It's a good idea to research someone's interest in occupations. The article about the Roottrees system mentions a fashion brand. Search Root. It will keep doing this for you, where it's like, it does such an excellent job with the hinting. Like I said, I didn't need it for a base game, but if I did, absolutely awesome. 10 out of 10. Insanely good hint feature. I feel like every puzzle game should have this, because one of the things I really hate about puzzle games is that I'm not the most brilliant spoon in the knife drawer, and I'll get stuck, and then to unstuck myself, I'll almost always have to Google it, but then the Google will do 2 things. It will, 1, just tell you the solution. It'll just be like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do, and 2, it might spoil other puzzles too, because you're looking for one thing, but then you find another thing. It's awesome that this game actually does what I wish all games would do, which is it's like, hey, check this thing out. Like, look at this thing. Okay? That will help you? Okay, what about this thing? And then just kind of build some multiple steps until it like just tells you the solution. So it kind of like allows you to, if you want to and you're willing, it just allows you to look for a solution yourself, which is great. Awesome. 10 out of 10. No complaints. Probably best hint function I've seen in any puzzle game ever. Should be mandatory for every puzzle game. Blueprints, put that in there. Anywhere else, honestly. Same with the Return of the Golden Idol. Or the Rise of the Golden Idol. So yeah, base game I thought was really, really good. I liked the narrative in it. I liked the gameplay in it. I thought everything was well put together, well thought out. And then we unlocked the Roottry Mania. And honestly, here's the thing. I will preface what I'm saying now by stating something very simple, which is that one, you don't have to play Roottry Mania. That's an optional part of the game, but it's in the game. And two, it obviously makes sense to increase the complexity when you're creating like a second part of a puzzle game, right? If it was just the same thing, that might have felt a little bit samey. It might have gotten boring, tiring, and you could argue that maybe this. I don't think it doesn't say. Yeah, it doesn't tell you, but you can argue that this a part of the game was made for people that want an additional challenge. It's made for advanced players that thought the base game was too easy, or that want to really sit down and like dig through it. And that's definitely what they do. It's significantly harder, requires significantly more work, and I would argue is like obtuse to a unsatisfying level. So I've spent the first stream of this last time. I spent almost the entire stream looking for clues, and I couldn't find anything. Basically, we had essentially nothing unlocked. I wish I had like a save I could go back to, but we had like 3 faces unlocked. We had a few names, and that was about it. I had no idea where to go. I was looking through the clues. I was doing all the searches, and after going through a bunch of search terms for like, I don't know, 3 hours or something, I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna spam hint it, and that's what I ended up doing, because I was so stuck to an unsatisfying degree that I just couldn't get anywhere. And then as we started spam hinting, the more hints we got, we kind of retreaded some paths I had been through, some paths I didn't think about, and it was a lot of like, oh, there was this one little search term in this one little place you didn't like search for, or even more frustratingly, we have these the return. I think the most frustrating part of this, honestly, I think this periodicals was a good idea, but a big problem with this, especially in this addition to the game, is that, here are my notes. Here are all the things I searched for. Every time I search for something in an article, I decided to highlight it. That way, if I go back to an article, I can be like, oh, I already searched for this. I don't need to do it again. The problem with this is that as I was playing, I kept unlocking more and more and more and more periodicals. And that means that in order to actually find clues, I would have to go through all of these search terms again and search for them. Because with new periodicals, there are new search possibilities. That means that all the work I put into kind of like trying to make sure that I'd search for things in the originally was thrown out the window. This felt fine in the base game because I never reached a point where I felt like I had to go back and search for things. There wasn't that much stuff happening, right? So it was fine. You unlocked like 5 of these. There's like 10 of them now. There's like how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And some of these unlocked way later, and some of them have like 2 relevant articles. It's just really, really frustrating. What ended up happening is that I had set it up so that I knew what I'd search for, so I wouldn't have to search for it again. But then, instead, what ended up happening was I now unlocked new periodicals, and I'm like, oh, let's just go through and search for everything once again. I guess, just to give an example, right? Like, you have this evidence, which is useful, but as an example, this confidential report, look at how many names there are here, right? And highlight means I searched for these. I went through and searched for all of them. So, there are dozens of names here, there are dozens of names here, dozens of names here, right? These are all people that could be relevant to the story. And in order to figure out these are relevant, I would have to go back for every periodical. I would have to go in here, Zach Morden, search periodicals. Okay? Albert Cross, search periodicals. And just keep doing that with every person over and over and over again, right? And honestly, that's just a very frustrating and what it was otherwise a pretty decent puzzle, right? Especially weird choice considering that this thing, the search all option for periodicals, is an optional option. Meaning that what they normally want you to do is they want you to be in game, and instead of having search all, they want you to manually search. So let's say I learn about Sack Morden, right? They would want you to do this. Anything in Business Watch, anything in Butler County, anything in Chef Signature, anything in the Herald, right? Imagine going through the game and doing that for like Courtney May Watts, going through every periodical like that. That seems crazy to me. Yeah. I think that's an interesting mechanic, but I think I would probably have done that a bit differently. You know, if a name is in a periodical you don't have, maybe have like a warning for that to be like, oh, this is a, you know, you feel like there's more to this name or something. Like some way you can note something down to where you understand that the thing that you've searched for has more information tied to it. The evidence has a cool little magnifying glass that shows you how many clues are still related to that thing, how many search terms or whatever I think that is. Which means that if it has 10, and you search for, let's say, Sack Morden is there, you search Sack Morden, and then it goes to 9, and then Sack Morden leads to the Roottrees Candy Company, now it's at 8, etc., right? So you can kind of like, be like, oh, I know there's more tied to this. I think they should do the same thing with names, right? Be like, maybe a website. You know, the website could say, this website has 2 more things tied to it. That way you're not like going through like, oh, is this thing relevant to something? Is, you know, once again, let's just try an example. What is this guy's name? Is like Chris LaRue Rafferty or whatever? Chris Rafferty. Oui. Let's see. What was this? We can find it. We can find it over here. This looks bugged. That's not what this is supposed to look like. Okay, so here's a good example, right? I looked at this pretty early, and it led me nowhere. I read through this, and I couldn't really find anything. Like, I went for Ernie Madsen, Guy Hudson, blah, blah, blah. But then, of course, here in, like, non-capitalized is Roottrees Curse website. Now, this leads to somewhere useful. Oh, wait, it doesn't. Oh, because of Curse. Right. This leads to somewhere useful. But I didn't catch that because I read the article, I didn't find anything useful. So, what ended up happening with the sequel mystery is what happened today, which is that for most last stream and this stream, I was just sitting here searching through terms, finding literally nothing. And the stuff that I find, I had no way to connect to the board because the way it was aligned was so confusing to me. I was like, I don't understand who's where. Is this guy over here? Is he over here? What's this guy's name? How do I figure out this person's name? Well, how do I know what their profession is? I was just completely stuck. And a huge part of that is the fact that they introduced so many new mechanics, right? Like, first of all, we're dealing with 3 separate family trees. Secondly, we're dealing with a lot of photos and evidence that is more disjointed. And thirdly, we're dealing with names that now, instead of being... you select first name, last name, or... Oh, you didn't do that before, right? You select... Instead of selecting the name, you now select first name... Oh, wait. You did first name, last name before too, right? Am I crazy? Why was it different this time? Let me just check so I'm not speaking on my ass. Oh, yeah. So instead of selecting just the name, you select first name, last name. And that has an additional difficulty to it, because what happens in the base game, which is an awesome feature from a puzzle perspective, is that if I think, you know, I know this is Reyna or whatever, right? I don't remember her name. I think Candy wasn't Candy Roottrees the youngest or something. Riley. I think it was Candy or Carly or something like that. Oh, they are model? 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 What's her name? Candy? I want candy. Do 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 do. Oh, it could be that this is Rina. This is Riley. And this is Carly. Yep. Hint! Help me! I can't. Well. Point anyway is that once these are locked in, they're completely gone from the possible names. What that means is that if once I've locked in a name, it's completely gone. You can't use that name anymore. Now the pool of names is narrower. Now you don't have to, once I've searched for a name, I know now it's gone. I don't have to worry about that anymore. That was not the case in the Root Romania. In that you had all the names available still, so anyone could be anyone. Now you're dealing with, probably hundreds of like thousands of name combinations. Let's just look real quick. Oh, skip cutscene, please. Like, we're dealing with, all of these names connected to all of these last names. It's literally thousands of name combinations that we're dealing with, right? Yeah. Little bit frustrating, honestly. So my I gotta see what this Inside the Gallehouse thing is too. The new game they're making. So, while I think that the narrative in the second part of the game was also good and interesting, I think the difficulty increases too much, and I think it's way too hard to find the clues and pictures you're looking for, right? If I was stuck at the end there with all the pictures unlocked, all the different people unlocked, and I didn't know their names or whatever, or if I just made some progress every time I'm doing something, I wouldn't have minded too much. But the problem is I was completely stuck. I was making no progress at all, and that ended up just feeling really frustrating. I just cheated my way to the end. I just spammed the hint button, and even spamming the hints, some of the stuff was still a bit confusing to me. And then I feel like as an even bigger kind of sucker punch, once you get to the end, now you have to decide whether or not these people are related to the Roottrees somehow. And that's also requires you going through the evidence again, which is like, dude, I've been going through the evidence so much, I'm sick and tired of it. Yeah. Let's jump over to our favorite video game browser. So, pretty much where I'm at with music is also good, but I think all the music is licensed. So I also read apparently this game was, interestingly enough, it was on HIO originally with AI art, and then they Robin Ward. Is Robin Ward the dude who made Remember if the Opera did? Who is Robin Ward? Evil Trout. Oh, it's just a dude? Yeah, so original HIO game, so that's cool. I mean, it's cool to see how, because this game is very successful right now, and that's like probably at least 100,000 sales, I would assume, with these ratings. Probably close to 100,000 at least. That's pretty good. But yeah, I think where I'm at from maybe we should read. Let's see what Steam people have to say before I make up my mind. But and that's pretty sure. I'm just gonna read the negative reviews because I don't care what positive people have to say about it. Sudoku for stalkers. Obra Dinn was about boring people. Oh, I think this is also I think this is like Obra Dinn inspired by, and I would agree that Obra Dinn is a more interesting game for sure, but I think both games are pretty good. Damn, that's quite a this is quite a review. Okay, this person got so mad they started caps locking, and that's always good. Okay, this person is upset that the internet doesn't work like it does currently, but I don't... Do they not understand that this was set in like the 1990s? The second part was extremely painful, the texts were overly long, and there was too many keywords to search for a seemingly endless number of articles, periodicals, and books. On top of that, the story wasn't nearly as engaging. Yeah, I agree with that. This person says there should have been a more automatic check of as you go system for collecting evidence and such. I think I agree with that. That would be pretty good. I know people being upset with the story, like, ending reveal is obvious. Okay. I don't know, was it supposed to be, like, really mysterious? I didn't think it was obvious either. I guess it was kind of obvious. Okay. So, on the Endaline scale, 10 is most masterpiece, 9 hours to play this, 8 good experience worth playing, 7 good play if it sounds fun, 6 alright play if you like the genre, 5 average, 4 still functioning game, 3 barely worth playing, 2 everyone should avoid this, 1 no readable qualities. With just a base game, honestly, I could have seen myself putting this in the 9s. I had a really good time with it. It was straightforward. I kept progressing, but the more I played the second part of the game, the less I liked the game, and the more the cracks in the gameplay kind of show. You know, playing the second part makes me wonder how much of the first part was just luck, right? It makes me think, like, did I just get lucky with this? Did I get lucky and my accomplishments were just like, you know, I could have gotten really stuck and I would have just been bored? Or is it just very well designed and the second part isn't as well designed? I'm gonna lean towards the second part being, you know, once again, second part can be intentionally harder as on purpose, and that's fine. if that's not made for me, that's awesome. It doesn't have to be, but I think as a whole package, and thinking about the rating system, right? Like, where would I put this? I think this is above a genre game. I think it does enough to be interesting beyond this genre. I think with Roottrees 7 would be fair, but I did really like the base game, so I think we'll give this a rookie score probably. I think we'll put this just at a straight 8. I think if Roottrees felt better to me, I could definitely see this being high 8s, even in the 9s. But I think a pure 8 for this is pretty fair. I think a more objective rating would probably be like low 7s, mid 7s, but I thought the basic game was really, really good. And I think they did a lot of good things with the game, so I think an 8 is pretty fair here. Let's see if it has an open critic rating. 8.6. Sure. Sure. We streamed this. We set this to played. What day is it today? It's the 3rd. Put it here. Our 5th game played this year, and we're only barely into February. That's pretty good. The Roottrees are dead. Let's look at so they're making this game next. This looks awesome. Oh, it's on my wish list already. Hey, good wish list. Good W. I already wishlisted this. Cool. I think that's pretty much it. Overall, if we put it, I think my overall conclusion would be this game is fun. Definitely something you can sink your teeth into. Once again, when we talk about puzzle games, not playing these on stream give you the opportunity to kind of like unwind a little bit and take your time more with them, right? Like one of the problems with playing a puzzle game on stream, in my opinion, is that I'm on stream. I can't just like be like, I'm just gonna watch YouTube. I'm just gonna go lie down in bed, right? You're sitting here and you're going through the puzzle, and all I can do is just go through the puzzle. I can't just take a break. I can't just be like, oh, let's just go to YouTube for 3 hours. Let's just browse, YouTube shorts on my phone or whatever. Okay. Well, so I feel like there's always a caveat with that, right? Like, would I have enjoyed the second part of this game more if I could have taken breaks and I could have just kind of let it simmer a little bit? Maybe. No, maybe this is a game that you sit down and you relax a little bit and you're like, oh, did I search for this thing? That might be a more enjoyable experience. But I still think overall, our playtime was like 20.5 hours or something. Playtime was 20.7 hours. We'll just do 20.5. But yeah, I think that this is an excellent puzzle game. I think it has a lot of merit. I think it is a bit simple, and while the note system is really good, they could probably have used some sort of system to prevent you from getting into search loops, right? And by search loop, I mean you search for Guy Hudson, you search for everything inside Guy Hudson. You go next, and then you're done. And you're like, I'm nowhere closer. Then search something else. Pop, 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 pop. Okay, and then you're back to Guy Hudson, because you go the entire rotation. You're like, did I miss something? Was there something, Guy Hudson, Candy Company, President, 5 pieces, Gwyneth Roottrees, Anderson Maple Farm. You keep going, and they're like, okay, did I miss something? Guy Hudson, Roottrees Candy Company, and then you're just gonna keep going back and back. Like, I think it would be good to have a system in place to either indicate whether you're completely done with something, or that's kind of the hint system, right? But either to indicate if you're done with something, or if there's more things to search for. Maybe just highlight words that seem like they could be important. Honestly, I think auto highlighting words and making them clickable, right? Like if you're in the game, right? Let's just give a last example. Something that could have worked pretty well. So one thing about the game, as far as I'm aware, and I'm not an expert on this video game. One thing, as far as I'm aware, is that regular terms aren't searchable. If I search for one of those things, this isn't going to lead anywhere, right? How was it? Pretty good, Cashew. I think it was a lot of fun. I'm just giving some final criticism. I already rated the game and stuff. How are you doing? So, one good thing they could have done, in addition to the notes, which the notes are great, could have probably been to have things, a word phrase, just be clickable, right? Because the way the game works is that all the things that you search for are things that are just keywords, right? There is a small, it's not searchable, but Clark Rafferty LaRue is. So instead of having me have to manually do this, click spider search, it might have been a good idea to just have this be a clickable link. And then you can click this, and if you clicked it, it shows that you've clicked it. And that would also make searching through this thing quicker, right? Like, let's say I'm stuck right now, and I'm like, okay, Clark. Spider search. Okay, what have I done there before? Okay, run Roottrees. Spider search. Gwyn could just lead to Gwyn Roottrees, right? I have to type Gwyn Roottrees. Okay, guys like us. Spider search, right? Might have been a good idea to just have these words be highlighted. Do not spend as much time like, okay, what have I searched here? And you can even have like a little thing maybe that indicates if you've clicked every word in a thing, right? If this had like a different color, just like a link on your browser does, if you clicked it before, it could have like, it could be a like a branch order code, right? Like it could look like, oh, have you clicked everything under Roottrees Candy Company? And if you have, then it shows that. That would be awesome. That would save a lot of going back and forth, right? And also, I would have done something better with this. This was a good idea initially, but I think that, once again, maybe have keywords here, so I know which keywords I've gone through and which keywords are relevant. And then if I type a keyword in, if I type Gwyn Roottrees, if I type Gwyn Roottrees and I don't have access to Starlet, right? It would be cool if Gwyn Roottrees just stayed here and was like, oh, you're not done with Gwyn here yet. That way, when I unlock Starlet, I can be like, oh, let me look for that again. Oh, it's a Starlet article, right? Instead of having to manually be like, okay, I unlocked that. I now unlocked Starlet. Okay, let me click through. Let me write 1,500 names here to see if that's a new article, right? That's probably where I'm at. So, overall, really good game. I enjoyed it a lot. I had a good time with it. Would recommend other people play this game. It's actually super enjoyable. It's a premise that that looks more daunting than it really is, and that ends up being really satisfying when you get the hang of it. And I also think that having the whole mechanic of like, oh, when you get X amount of people right, it auto finishes. It like tells you, oh, these are right. That's actually a great mechanic. The one complaint I have with that, and this is like a, maybe this is like a power gaming meta god strategy thing, is that you can brute force if you know that you have some things right, and that's good. But part of the problem with that is that because you can't go back again, right? If I know that this is Gwyn Roottrees, I know for sure this is Gwyn Roottrees. She was an actress. I know that's correct, 100%, no doubt. It's kind of better to save that 100% knowledge because you can use 100%ers to confirm doubters, right? If I have two people I'm not sure about, and I have two people I'm sure about, then it would be best for me to I can brute force the two people I'm unsure about by having all the three other people be sure, right? If you have three sure people and you need four, for your confirmation, then you can just be like, okay, I know this person is, I know they're Sam Madsen or whatever. I know that this is their picture. I don't know what they worked as. Then you can just click all the work through things. Doot, 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 doot. Or if you're like, oh, I know this picture is a farmer, and but I don't know their name. Click, 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 click. Right, and that's fine. That's a good way to brute force the game. It's a little bit frustrating when you're like, it feels like you should like save the names you know in order to be able to brute force a bit better. I don't know what the solution is to that, but I just felt like mentioning it. Yeah. That's pretty much where we're at. I'm done with the game. We are gonna end stream. Let me quickly see if anyone's streaming. Mr. Baggy Pants is probably streaming, right? Or is he not home from work yet? Oh, Jin is streaming. I think I'll just post the games coming up on Discord because we have 3 games coming up, and I'll just post them so everyone knows what's up next on the agenda. And with that said, I'll spoil it on stream. We'll do a little stream spoiler. Just write the raid in here. So we have 3 games that I'm going to play before we spin the wheel. Take that take. And I'll post it on Discord too. But the 3 games coming up before we jump into spinning wheels is Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, the Don't Know game that came out mid last year. Should be hopefully some Life is Strange, soapy, crimey, river teenager game. We have Dead State, a horror game that I decided randomly I wanted to play. Apparently it's good. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but that's where we're at. And Dispatch, everyone's favorite superhero game that also came out last year. So these are games we're going to play before we spin the wheel. Once we're not spin the wheel, the next big game we're doing is, of course, Yakuza. Unless Deb reneges on that, wants to withdraw the request. Otherwise, next big game is Yakuza. And then after that, I have some other ideas for what to play. So should be a good time going forwards. Normal stuff, if you're near, feel free to stream, doing Discord, good stuff. We're going to be back with some Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, whatever, next time. We're going to head over to our video gaming friend. And that's going to be on Thursday at 10:00 North time, 10 a.m. GMT, +1. Schedule on there, local time zones, all that good stuff. We're going to head over to Jin. Oh, whoops. Very mistress. Super appreciate everyone hanging out. Hope everyone had a good time. Understand this game was not everyone's jam. It's a bit of a tough. I totally get that this is a game that's like a bit tough to follow if you're not following all of it, and even if you're following all of it, you're just watching me search for terms. So I appreciate people for hanging out though. It was really fun, but also not necessarily the best stream game anyone has ever made, which not a criticism against the game at all. But yeah, that's it for me. I'll be back, like I said, on Thursday. Everyone, a good rest of your Tuesday and Wednesday. See you all. Keep fighting fouls, and bye bye.